So someone just tipped $2 and said, why don't you let people talk freely in the chat? Well, I do. Okay, but let's continue. Why does it always have to be about the game? It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. Just like you don't know about sports, maybe some people don't know much about the specific game you're playing, so they come to unwind and chat in your stream. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. All right? There's nothing wrong with that. If you stopped being so strict, I'm not strict at all. In fact, most people complain that I don't have enough moderation, especially on days when the trolls actually come out, that they get to stay in the chat as long as they do. People have outright complained to me I need more mods. So that's a complete misconception and an outright lie, actually. If you stop being so strict, maybe your streams would be fun. All right. So here's the thing. If I even moderate once, it's too much. And if I don't moderate, it's not enough. It doesn't matter what I do. It's never good enough for certain people. And a lot of people are of this mentality, okay, where, oh, everything Phil does is bad. If he does something right, well, it's not good enough. And move the goalpost to say that there was something else that he should have done instead, right? There absolutely was a time, okay, at one point when I was very, very heavy-handed with moderation. And the reason was, to be honest, if you would really like to know, because I was very sensitive. I didn't like being criticized. I liked the fact that when I made content, the people who watched it liked me and would talk about the content in a positive way. I mean, take a look at the way that I used to react to things like this is how you don't play, right? Very, very poorly. Instead of understanding it and laughing with the joke and getting it, it was, wow, I'm so full of myself. I think my shit doesn't stink, and there's no way that anyone could possibly want to laugh at or criticize my work. So how dare they make this content, right? And so when I first started live streaming, okay, ages ago, I had my chat run pretty strictly. I had tons of moderators, like dozens of them, that would work as a team, both on my forums, because I used to own and operate a website and I had my own forums, and in my chats on my live streams. Okay. Now, today I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of silly. You want a community vibe. You want people to come by and feel like they're welcome. You want people to come by and feel like they're in a lockdown, right? So now I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that was really stupid. But back then, not so much. Again, it was kind of the Wild West, and no one really knew how to handle this stuff or how to operate anything. It was all everyone was just kind of flying by the seat of their pants, as they say, and figuring it out as they went along. So after many years of over moderation and stuff, I became a full-time live streamer in 2017, an interactive live streamer, and a lot of stuff changed. Even though, yes, I was still kind of strict with my moderation. Um, I definitely opened it up to be a lot more social, a lot more interaction, a lot more back and forth discussion, more so than ever before. And then, years later, again, after having moved from like Twitch to YouTube, I kind of changed my philosophy again. And man, ever since I started streaming on Kick, which was what, September, October, like that attitude is almost like no moderation. Like I rarely moderate Quick Chat at all. I just let it ride. Okay. But there is still some moderation that happens. For example, every single day, no exaggeration, there's people who make like 50 to 100 sock accounts, and each one is either a reference to a detractor meme or a personal insult about myself or a family member, doxing, racism. I could go on and on. And they do it on purpose because they're trying to get a rise in the chat or they're trying to get me in trouble for it. So there has to be moderation there. All right. Those accounts can't just be let loose to do whatever they want because they're basically underhanded, messed up accounts. The thing is, you guys never really see that moderation. It just happens behind the scenes. Hence, when you hear idiotic detractors saying shit like there were 1,200 accounts banned within a month, yes, because like 1,100 of them were literally the same person making 50 sock accounts a day of insanely insulting names. They never even said a word. They got banned before they did because we could see them being created and we took care of the problem before it became a problem. You understand? If anything, when you hear that number, wait a minute. There were 1,200 accounts banned in a month. And you say, well, how could that be? Does that mean there's over moderation? No, the question you should be asking is, how in the holy hell could there be 1,200 accounts in a month to be banned? Why would there be that many new accounts? Because I don't get that many new viewers a month. I don't get 1,200 new people coming to my streams a month. That doesn't make sense. How could there be 1,200? Because it's one insane individual making those accounts every single day. They're nuts. Okay? So in regards to how I moderate my chat, it's pretty simple. I really don't moderate it that often at all. Okay? I don't. These days, I have less moderators than I've ever had before. Ever. Like, on a given day on Kick, how many moderators do you realistically see in there? 1 or 2, if that? On YouTube, maybe 1 or 2. Most of the time, I'm flying solo. I'm moderating for myself, and I'm kind of ignoring it. I mean, what's the most common thing that I moderate? Spam. People who are spamming the same message over and over and not abiding by the rules, right? Um, I don't want people spamming the chat because I want people to be able to talk. And, I do have bots in there helping, but they're not always the best. They don't always catch stuff. You get people who will go in there and say a variation of something that's racist and the bot doesn't catch it, right? Something like that. Um, it is what it is there, but I do my best. I am more lax today than I've ever been before. Um, the thing is, when you operate a business full time, you can't have it be the Wild West in your chat because if you do, you can be held accountable for it. Really, if you just allow it to fly and you got people coming in that are doxing people, that are saying racist or sexist things, okay? Your chat could get a reputation for being a bad place and you could get in trouble for it, notably on YouTube. I don't know so much about Kick, how well they enforce that, but I do know that on YouTube, if you just let it kind of fly, you can get in trouble for it, okay? Um, and so that's why I kind of have to keep my eyes peeled. Okay? But let's talk about the subject that this person brought up in the tip. So if you come by a stream, and let's say, for example, today I'm playing Call of Duty, and you're watching like, man, Call of Duty just not my thing. It's kind of boring. And you want to engage in another conversation with the chat. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind at all. Go ahead. All right. Now understand that I don't want drama and arguments. There's certain rules and things in place that we need to take care of. And so if people are getting into personal quarrels and scraps in the chat and I take care of that, then I will, right? You got to moderate that. But for the most part, I allow people to talk about whatever they want to talk about. Okay. What I don't allow is for someone to entirely derail the entirety of a chat. And what I mean by that is, for example, I'm playing a game and I look and the entire chat has started talking about something so unrelated to my content and so unrelated to anything that I would ever have interest in that the sole reason that they're doing it is because they want to derail. Like everyone knows I don't like or watch or know anything about professional sports in the modern day. Now, if the Super Bowl is going on this week and you ask me, hey, Phil, what team do you got? That makes sense, okay? But if we're in the middle of a Final Fantasy VII stream, okay? Final Fantasy VII stream, and the entire game is based around a fantasy aspect with combat, with puzzles and exploration and all of this shit, right? And then you're going to tell me that you think the good idea is to go into the chat and make the entire chat be about March Madness basketball? And you don't think that I'm going to react to that. You think I'm going to ignore it, right? For the record, I did not ban anyone during that time period at all for talking about March Madness basketball. I said to everyone, hey guys, I'm playing Final Fantasy. What do you think about it? Like, why are you talking about this? I don't watch sports. So why is my whole chat about sports? This isn't teen chat. This isn't sports chat. There are places you can go for that. You don't have to come into my place of business, completely derail it, you know? Now, again, what I said is that sadly I used that as, a piece of evidence showing that sadly people just weren't really caring about RPGs. If the people showing up for Final Fantasy are people who want to talk about March Madness basketball, it probably means they don't really care about Final Fantasy, right? It was probably just the regular crowd who just wanted to hang out. And I'm like, well, if this is the case, then let's instead go ahead and do something you guys want. If it's not Final Fantasy, what is it? And then we change it. We stopped playing Final Fantasy and I started playing different games. You see? So that's the difference. People get this impression that, like, because I said something about a chat room or oh, I wasn't happy that the chat got derailed, that all of a sudden there was like a crazy moderation ban spree and all this. It couldn't be further from the truth. It didn't happen. But that's, of course, what people lie about constantly because they're dishonest idiots and they want you to think the worst, right? So here's the thing. Back in the day, many years ago, maybe that would have been the case. Not anymore. Today, there's very little moderation, right? There you go. Someone just tipped the buck, says, so literally people are saying you should moderate the kick chat, but people at the same time were crying that you over moderate. As a streamer, you must think it's crazy, but it's funny to watch. Literally, the chats today have become the actual backup of what I said earlier on the stream answering that other tipper. Because that other tipper, remember, said, why do you over moderate and all of that, you know? And so here I am doing my stream and I'm not really moderating that much as a result of that. And then the kick chat is all angry, yelling at me, why aren't I moderating? Why didn't I moderate this person? Right? Now, if I moderate that person, I'll be told you're conducting a insanely control freakish environment and it's now Nazi Germany over in the kick chat. How dare you moderate? So again, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't attitude. No matter what I do, I'm in the wrong. Because that's the bottom line is with these people who are so demanding anyway, that's all they want. They're never going to be satisfied, right? With the way that I behave in any way, shape, or form. So why entertain it, right? Why entertain nonsense? See? And they're literally doing it right now. They're literally doing it this moment. They're yelling at me for not moderating. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either I moderate appropriately or I don't moderate. And then you have to accept the decision of how the person who operates the business decides to moderate. All right. It's one or the other. You can't have it both ways. The problem is thus you get a person who is 90% of the time fine, and every once in a while they go off the deep end, and you tell them, stop acting like that. That's not allowed in my chat. So you warn them once, you warn them twice, you warn them 3 times, then all of a sudden you're like, I got to moderate this person, right? So you do. And then they come back and you moderate them again. And then eventually it's like, dude, they just don't learn. So there's certain people they don't learn. They're going to say the extreme thing because they can't control themselves. They literally don't possess self-control. Okay? So then you say, listen, stop coming back with the same account, because every time you come back with the same account, everyone complains about you because they know eventually you're going to lose control. You're going to do something stupid again. Make a new account so that way no one would possibly know that it's you, and just act normal, and then no one would ever know the difference, you know what I mean? But then what happens is eventually, guess what? They can't control themselves, and then they end up revealing that they're actually that person. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's happening right now is there's someone who on the YouTube side was having issues and problems. They got moderated a zillion times. They went to Kick. They changed their name on Kick, made a different name, and now people found out that it's them, and they're angry. They want them gone. They're out with their pitchforks and torches. Get this guy out of the chat. Yeah, but, you know, first of all, number one, he's just going to come back. Realize that, right? He's just going to come back with a different name. You know what I mean? This isn't, it's not my first rodeo. We've seen this already. We see how it goes, right? Sitting here acting like a toxic jerk in the Kick chat is not going to help at all. You know what I mean? What's hilarious is everyone is saying, so this guy is racist, get rid of him. Okay, what did he say that was racist? Not a single person has even explained that. Instead, they're just spamming the chat saying that they did something. I know this person has said racist stuff in the past. I've single-handedly called them out for it on streams and said, stop. I didn't see anything today, right? And I've already banned them a million times. They come back anyway. So what exactly would you like me to do? So now they changed the narrative. Now I'm not even kidding. I closed it and they go, oh, we don't want politics on a non-politics stream. Well, what was your story? Right? I mean, what was your story? What are you talking about? I thought your whole idea was that he was racist. You don't like that. Well, he's not being racist. So now you're upset because now you literally just changed the whole story because he talked some politics, right? And moratorium, as for ban evading, I've outright said, listen, if you're someone who's made mistakes in my chat, all right, and you keep getting banned, the best way to go about it is to not come back for the millionth time with the same name, the same account, and expect that you're going to be treated fairly. You're not. Everyone's going to be crapping on you because of your previous actions, okay? So come back with a new account, start fresh, see what happens, and if you act normal, people shouldn't hold it against you, your previous actions. You could have a fresh start. I'm of the opinion that everyone should get a fresh start if they really deserve it and if they can do it. In this case, I don't know how they figured out that this account was the same person. I don't know. You know, it wasn't me. I had nothing to do with that. I guess somehow they exposed themselves. Probably they started talking about the same kind of stuff. And so they put 2 and 2 together or whatever. Right? See what I mean? I mean, this is just going right along with our discussion from earlier today about moderation. Okay. One person literally has said, I over moderate. I don't let people talk about what they want to talk about. There's big issues with the way I moderate. Now, here's a situation. Here's someone who's had problems before being called out as a racist. They came back with a brand new account. They've been talking in chat about political stuff, not really racist stuff, but right-leaning political stuff. People are upset at this, and now they want me to ban them. So wait a minute. I over-moderate, but now here's someone who hasn't broken the rules on a new account, but you expect me to just moderate them. I think you've actually completely explained and proven my point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you figured it out. I think you exposed the bullshit that no matter what, it's never good enough for anyone. I'm always in the wrong. And it's happened live here on the stream today.